Top of the morning to you laddies. Today, I want to talk about a little thing called addiction. Sometimes in life, there are things that we really enjoy. You know, things like sweets, video games, that goddamn phone, black tar heroin. And we enjoy this one thing so much, in fact, that we just neglect every other aspect of our life. Family, friends, health, kids. I don't have any kids, but if I did, man, they'd be on the back playing with rocks, sticks. What's that, little Jimmy, you got bit by a snake? Sorry, buddy. About time you learned about natural selection anyways. See you. And whenever these addictions get so bad that they consume your entire life, you just gotta put it down. You can do it. You have the strength to do anything, and it starts here. You just gotta say no. So what I want you to do now is take all those words that I just said, load it up into a Smith & Wesson and shoot me in the face with it. Make me eat those words because I am a fucking hypocrite. I relapsed on Destiny 2. Just like an abusive ex, Bungie said that they changed and they've been working on themselves. So of course I gave them another chance. Now the real question is, did I end up with another black eye? Let's talk about it. Alright, so if you didn't know, Destiny 2 came out with a new expansion called The Final Shape. Is the final shape a circle, a square, the friends we made along the way, or Ikor's bald head? I'm happy to say that it's none of these things, and there's an actual really good narrative behind this expansion. This is supposed to be the climax of the Light and Darkness saga. This whole thing has been building up for like 10 years, and I just think it's amazing to see how they sent this saga off. And that already makes it about 10 billion times better than Lightfall in my opinion, because that story was buns. Actually, I'm going to be completely transparent. I have never cared about the story of Destiny, but this expansion story was so fucking good that it actually made me invested in the story as a whole after 5 years of not giving a single fuck about it. Please don't sharpen your pitchforks. I am so sorry. I know the error of my ways and I repent completely. I am very sorry for sleeping. I really did not know that the story was this good. Usually whenever I run campaigns, I only do it for the subclass or to get to the raid or get weapons. I have a very distinct memory of whenever in Lightfall, whenever that Silver Surfer dude was getting squashed, I specifically remember booing at him and asking him if he could die quieter, please. That just goes to show just how uninvested I was in this story. So going from complete and utter apathy for the story completely to crying during the last cutscene of the narrative, I think it's safe to say that the story of this expansion is really, really good, to say the least. I'm not going to say any spoilers, but you just got to play it and find out. All I'm going to say is that there's a lot of twists, a lot of conflicting ideas, a lot of tension, and a lot of payoff for all of the moments that built up to this. Alright, so the narrative's good, but what about the gameplay? They added a new raid, they added a new subclass. How is that? Well, let me tell ya. Honestly, with the addition of Prismatic, it makes me think about the way that I would imagine Destiny 3 being. And this is almost exactly how I'd imagine it. Just a damn near infinite amount of build crafting possibilities. Whenever I would play on certain subclasses, there were certain rotations that I really liked about them, and I really wished that it was on the other elements. And that's made possible with Prismatic. I honestly feel like this is the best change Destiny 2 has ever gotten. I really like this subclass. One of my favorite things about Destiny is its build crafting, and the fact that it takes that and just kind of gives you all of these tools to put together yourself. I feel like a little kid in a toy store just testing stuff out, playing with this, trying out that. Honestly, it's so fucking fun. So I run a hunter build, right? I'm infinitely freezing people, infinitely invisible. I'm punching people for like 800,000 damage. This is the type of power that I feel like a hunter has never really experienced. I'm so used to Phoenix Protocol this and Strand Titan that. I think hunters are up this season, and as a hunter man, I am 100% here for it. Furthermore, I also want to talk about the new weapons that they added. These weapons are sweet. So they added a lot more variety for the newer weapon archetypes that they added, like the heavy burst hand cannon and the rocket sidearm. But they also added new legendary archetypes, like the mini Warcliff coil / Wither Horde grenade launcher. I don't know what the archetype's called, whatever. And then they just straight up added like a support frame auto rifle that just heals people. Honestly, I could appreciate how creative they're getting with these legendary weapons. They're not quite exotics, but they're still unique and fun to play with. And they have such unique properties that people can tailor their builds around them and actually make them really, really useful. And a lot of the times they're almost just as useful as an exotic. And I think that that's awesome. Alright, so the Final Shape also added a new location called the Pale Heart. You basically go inside of the Traveler and you're exploring its innards. And honestly, I cannot praise this area enough. Whenever it comes to public locations, I used to absolutely despise them. There was nothing that I liked about them. Only reason that you would catch me on a planet is because I am looking for an exotic or I'm doing a quest. Public events are usually always the same. You go to a planet, there's a public event happening. There's a horde of enemies. You kill them, there's a big enemy, you kill it. Alright, cool. Never been a fan of it. But the way that the Pale Heart is designed, it is so fun. Every little location has a little side mini game slash encounter that has its little mechanics, and it really advocates for active gameplay. I can't tell you how many times I hit something and I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. There's a shield up. What am I supposed to do? And it would take me a little second. It wouldn't take me too long, like the mechanics weren't hard, but it would make me think a little bit about what I needed to do to progress. And honestly, I just felt myself constantly getting distracted at these little mini games sprinkled throughout the Pale Heart. It was honestly really enjoyable. I really like the location. The way that each area just kind of blends together, it's just really seamless, and I think that it's really fun. Which is a first whenever it comes to these damn planets, because I can't stand them. I hate them. But I like the Pale Heart. And finally, I want to give some light thoughts on the raid. I haven't done it yet, but I do want to give my thoughts on the crazy raid race that transpired. So after the campaign, the witness goes to another location, and we have to pursue them into the raid. The raid is insane. Bungie took all of the complaints about Root of Nightmares being too easy. They were like, I bet. And then proceeded to make the hardest raid in Destiny history. This raid took 19 hours for people to complete. It is insane. I haven't done it yet. I want to give more thoughts on it later whenever I actually do it. But honestly, watching it was just so entertaining. It felt like a big, giant community puzzle. And honestly, it was so satisfying once the first team finally beat the raid. Because after they beat it, you get this cutscene that's like, one fire team has fucked up the witness. It's time to spin the block, Guardians. It was insane, bro. You had like this Avengers Endgame cutscene. You go take the witness's lunch money, and then you just have this last cutscene, and it's just so emotional. Oh my god, man. I do not have many complaints whenever it comes to this expansion. I had such a good time. This expansion just has so many good moments. One thing that I feel like gaming has been lacking recently, memorable moments. And I'm so glad that the finale of the Light and Darkness saga ends with a compilation of great moments rather than Bungie falling flat on his face, because Bungie can sometimes be very inconsistent. Honestly, I don't really have any complaints about the final shape as a whole. The only thing that I could nitpick is their change to the dungeons. They added surges and then changed the way that light level works inside of those dungeons. And I think it's not very helpful for people that are newer to the game. I think it's really dumb, and I hope that they revert it. Other than that, as far as the final shape is concerned, I have zero complaints about it. This may be one of the last opportunities to experience such a great moment in the Destiny franchise. I'd say that if you've ever had love for the franchise or ever wanted to pick up Destiny, right now would be the perfect time. This is the first time in a while that I've seen Bungie actually hungry. And a hungry Bungie will always know how to cook. And being able to play the game live while Bungie is actively hungry, even if it is just for one last time, it's a really nice experience. And even if you drop the game after it, at least you'd be able to end it on a high note. As far as Destiny DLCs and expansions are concerned, this is a 10 out of 10 in my book. There's not much more I gotta say, man. A like, a subscribe, and good vibes in the comments always help. I'll see you.